Hey, yo, what's up? You know what it is. It's the one and the only, the triple, the G.O.D. And we live in a world where Dissidia Final Fantasy NT is like a thing now. Because before this morning, it wasn't a thing. It was a thing we always knew was going to be a thing, but now it is a thing for real. Because they got leaked on Amazon this morning while in the middle of Square's monthly stream for the Dissidia arcade game, and there was a lot of interesting information that not only came out of that stream, but interesting about the leak itself from Amazon, because it ain't no duh of the day is Dissidia Final Fantasy NT will be focusing on Noctis, because this isn't like strange, because Duodecim was a big lightning thing, and the original Dissidia Final Fantasy was very focused on the Warrior of Light, because it was the opening of that, and it was a retelling of like a weird version of the story of like the back end and like back behind the scenes of how Final Fantasy 1 actually worked. So it makes sense that this would be Noctis' show. It makes legitimate sense that that's what they were going to do. They said early on that Noctis was going to be a part of the cast. They just said it wasn't going to be no if or when this was going to happen. It was just an inevitability of things. So now that we understand this inevitability of things, is that goes hand in hand with the other piece of information we learned from that stream today, is that every month from I think August on until whatever, they are going to be announcing new characters. There has been no hints, no rhyme or reason of whether those are going to be like characters who would be from the Cosmos side, or characters from the Chaos side, or characters or brand new characters from things. Like anything can happen. It is a free-for-all when it comes to this video game at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I think about that now, that this is a tangible thing, knowing what I understand about Final Fantasy Dissidia in the arcade, is that you have to wonder is if a limited edition version that is going to be like the version of the controller that you use in the arcade. Because it's like these weird like PlayStation 2 like flight stick controllers or whatever, and like this big fucking crystal in the middle that like does things that I am not sure of, but it should be interesting. It's something that I wish that games that come home that like stay in the arcades forever, that come home and do. Like my dream is Gunslinger Stratos. It's like for them to actually release that game on something that's a console. It was on Steam for 5 damn minutes, so it is possible. But then for them to release like a super duper limited edition version with like an actual Gunslinger Stratos, I would pay money for that. I would legitimately pay actual human non-GRF dollars for actual human money for that. Just saying, just putting that out there, just putting that out in the ether. Like, Gunslinger Stratos, go. Let's do that. You know, let's do that. I have to say, though, I'm like, my thing is, even though that I don't upload footage for the game anymore, I do keep up very close with it, and it's like, it's become a better game from when it started off, so long ago. It's like, there are balance changes on top of balance changes, new characters, new stages, new dynamics, new summits. It is a game that is still forever changing. Who knows that whenever early 2018 is, well, we learned our lesson about early something, thank you Tekken, but early 2018 is like by then, is that whatever I'm sitting up here thinking about this, whatever the Dissidia arcade is going to be, it'll be reflected in the PS4 port. And then the other no-duh of the day, because again, I know how this works, is that this is going to be similar to most games, where we do the dirt in the arcade, and we let the people in the arcade fool with it. We use that for balance, and then at some point we'll release it on the PS4 version, and then lather, rinse, repeat. I don't think it's going to be a thing where NT is going to launch with something that the arcade doesn't have. I don't really think that's going to be one of those cases. It's not going to be like what it is right now with Under Night Inburst with Enkidu and of course Bay Erica, you know what I'm saying, coming to the game, and then it's going to come back to the arcades. No, I really think that at the time NT releases, it's going to be as feature complete and equal to the arcade as possible. it's like you really have that other question, because yesterday we learned about Pokken Tournament DX, and it's like, even given what Pokken Tournament DX is attempting to do, it is like a legitimate smack in the face to anybody who bought that game on Wii. That it's like that Pokken Tournament DX, and it's like they've been hit. It's like Street's been hollering about that for months, about wondering what they were going to do. That because the Nintendo Wii couldn't quite handle it, and who knows what the Switch is gonna do. And it's like it just seems to be that on that complete random other subject, that just seems that just going to be what the case is gonna be. That if your game was either shit on some version, or it never became feature complete via DLC, expect a DX version. Expect a DX version of that. So I expect, and this is just me, a Hyrule Warriors DX at some point. That is just something that I just know that's coming. That's something that they're going to do, and I'll be waiting for it. So if they announce it next week at E3, I told you so. Look, I'm leaking internet from the future because, I'm just saying things that make common sense. I don't know. So when it comes to, honestly, to get back to the point so we get up out of here, the state of Dissidia is this. It's like, you sit up here and wonder what they could do. It's like, I really think that a PS4 remaster for both of those games is a little much, but not impossible, because again, we live in a world where they did the joint for Star Ocean 2. So having both Dissidia games playable on a PS4 with a controller, that would be like dream heaven sent. Like, and you would say, yo, T, like, both games? It's like, yes. Both games, while very similar at their core because of where they're based off of, is that both games in a collection versus it just being duodecim need to exist mainly because of the story they're trying to tell. And yeah, I do know that you can play the majority of the backstory of the first Dissidia in duodecim. Yes, I am aware of that, but it's just one of those instances where both games, given what they offer and bring to the table, need to be in a collection together versus just doing duodecim by itself, if that's ultimately what you want to do. Again, like I say, playing that game with a controller, both of those games, is something that I heartily welcome as an option to play those video games. Yes, it's like you can technically do some dirt to make it happen. I'm like, I've made videos about duodecim years ago, and I played all of that with a controller because of the wonderful power of Remote Joy Lite. Praise that program. It was a shame they never fixed it. They never fixed the version 2.0 to work with newer updated firmware and stuff, because it only worked with because version 20A, the last time I checked, it still only works with 500 M33.6. That is the last firmware that it is compatible with that version, and then you can only use like the final version of 19 with any other firmware going forward, and it's not as good. So, you know what I'm saying, helping me help you help yourself, a triple the guy staple. Now, if you want to record some PSP footage, you can, but given all the stuff you can do now, it's like the 3DS, if you hack it, you can use it as a streaming device to stream straight to Twitch and stuff like that. I'm really not sure what's going on with the Vita scene, because I ain't kept up with it, and I was supposed to mod my Vita like 50 million years ago and just never got around to it, because it's like I don't own enough games on Vita to do anything, and the only thing I do on my Vita now is play uppers anyway, but I have a PlayStation TV for that, so there's that too. Because I modded that at least. Like, the only thing that I did was I modded my PlayStation TV so that I could do the whitelist. I ain't put no dirt on there. I just need I just need an object to be like, I feel like playing uppers right now. Let me just put that in and just play it a little bit. Because again, if we gonna sit up here and I'm gonna go on this damn tangent here, is dear whoever, magical underhand pitch for video game. The game bombed in Japan, so it's like, nah, we're not gonna waste time localizing this, so go fuck yourself. And it's just like, you would have thought, I'm like, for real, I thought Uppers was a slam dunk. The way that they were marketing that game in Japan and the way that they were approaching what type of game it was, it's like you would have thought that would have been the game to sit up here and break through, even for everything that it does, because it's a wonderful battle system and it's everything that Senran Kagura and Valkyrie Drive are not, given the type of video game that it is, even though it is part of that lineage and part of that family of video games that you would have thought Uppers would have been like. It's like, I honestly think our Lord Tataki made that game with the US in mind, and they didn't even get out of damn Japan. So it's like, you really have to wonder, like, what's really good with that? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like, I play Uppers like semi-regularly. Like, I just sit around here feel like I don't feel like doing no, yo, hook up Uppers real quick, man. Let me just play a battle or two, cause that, I'm like, yo, I love the shit out that game, dude. I love the shit out that game. And yo, and if you ain't play Uppers, dog, you should import that motherfucker. Like, yeah, for real. You gonna, like, if you got a Vita or a PSTV and you got something to play a Vita game on, like, Uppers is a game I definitely suggest you get at. A game I definitely suggest you get at if you haven't yet, or thought about it, or maybe seen a trailer on the channel, or seen somebody playing it and it looked kind of interesting. It's worth the import bucks. Vita region free. It's like Vita as region free as you need another memory card to slide in there. You know what I'm saying? It's region free as that. So just letting you know, just putting out good vibes for great video games. But again, to wrap up this video, here's where we sit right now with Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Is my assumption, given the information, is this game will be feature complete and be equal with the arcade when it come out. The arcade will be your test bed for all of your new characters and all of the balance for it. It gets pushed out to the PS4 version, lather, rinse, repeat. One can only hope that they have some super limited edition that has the setup of the arcade version, because like I said earlier, my last time I remember, it's like, it's supposed to be like either, like, cause I know what, when I said that shit earlier, I was thinking of Gunslinger Stratos. It's like, cause Gunslinger Stratos, you have like the control stick in one hand, and then you have like a gun trigger in the other. Why do I keep trying to say Duodecim? Dissidia Arcade has like some weird PS2 controller. Like, it looked like they're like a weird PS2 controller or whatever, and it has like this little crystal in the middle that I think you use for summons and weird shit like that. So it'll be interesting to see that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see, like, who are these other characters? Because like I said, we getting character reveals for the next couple of months, because usually it alternate between character and stage, because today we got the floating continent for Final Fantasy 3, like actual Final Fantasy 3, Onion Knight Final Fantasy 3, not Final Fantasy 3 that is actually Final Fantasy 6 with Baytina in it. So there you go. Just there you go. There you go. But for real though, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I just had to get on the mic real quick, man, and say what I had to say. Hope you guys learned something. Go buy you a copy of Uppers if you have a PS Vita to play this shit on. I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that from your boy to you. And if you got something to play Uppers on, go do that. I'm like, Valkyrie Drive is gonna be on Steam. I'm like, yo, if you missed out on it and you know you couldn't get one of them weird ass limited editions or whatever, I'm like, that's gonna be the version to play. And I'm like, my thing is that I will say this last thing before we get up out of here. I love how more Japanese developers are embracing like PC ports kicked out to the max. I'm like, you can play Vanquish in 60 fucking frames now. A dream you would never have back when that game came out. And I enjoyed the shit out of Vanquish when I played it, when I beat it. It's a game that I want to go back to, but it's not like a game that, while I want to go back to it, like, I don't know if I'm gonna make the time to be like, yo, I'm finna go fucking play Vanquish. But yo, when I upgrade Bessie, or you know what I'm saying, when I upgrade Bessie and get her hooked up for real, like, yo, I'm playing some Vanquish. I got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like, yo, in the street though, support all these Steam ports, man, of these games that's coming out. I'm like a humongous set of the Senran Kagura series say for burst, and given that this is the same service that has Code Up Princess on it, you would think they would put Simran Conqueror Burst on there. I kind of understand why you wouldn't put that work in, but it seems just like a thing to play that game at like 60 frames and stuff, because the 3DS, while it does the game justice, having that game being pushed out to its max like a game like Simran Conqueror Burst and what it brings to the table, that could be some hot business. So you could do that. And I just had a random thought, because see, I'm with random thoughts while we talking about Duodecim and a whole bunch of other things. Is that Mega Gamer promised me a translation of, I can't even think of the damn game. I had that game on the tip of my motherfucking gun. Ogon Muso Cross. Now hold on, let me double check that, cause see, you know, like it ain't one of these. If I don't go on a Google Quest, let me see. Yeah, Ogon Muso Kyoku. Yeah, Ogon Muso Kyoku Cross. That's supposed to be coming out for Mega Gamer. They're supposed to release that God knows when. I'm like, I ain't played that game in years, and you know, the only way that you can really do some dirt with it is if you buy a Japanese 360 right now, and it's like you can play the game like the original Ogon Muso Kyoku has a translation patch, but Ogon Muso Kyoku Cross doesn't, and you need one game to play Cross. It's weird, but I just randomly thought of that, and I'm just like, Mega Gamer, I ain't heard nothing about the game since Mega Gamer released that trailer. It's like last fucking year. Yeah, like October the 2nd, 2016. So I ain't heard nothing about that since then. So I got your back on that. So let me say one more thing, because you know I love my uncle voice before we get up out of here. XA join up. If you need to stay the Gotham in the Arrowverse, that Cripple Reeves joint, yo, we got you. More of the Leak Finit joint. I'm hoping to get through the back installments of the Cool before Sunday, because, you know, I gotta have the blog clear so we can put up E3 work, and E3 work is coming, and I'm planning to actually play a damn video game, because I don't do enough of that, but I have to clear a hard drive full of this stolen cosplay pornography and all this other pornography that is pornography that needs to be backed up, because it is indeed pornography. And also a whole bunch of CDs that I burned to this thing years ago, and a whole bunch of backups for video games, because you have to back this stuff up, because if you don't take any type of chance of actually backing up your own shit, it probably won't be around in the future for nobody to get. So there you go. But yo, for real, I didn't talk enough, look. Look, man, y'all go ahead and get up out of here, man. Yo, you know what it is, man. It's the one and the out, the triple, the G.O.D. I'd like to thank you for joining me for another installment of Triple the Guy Speaks On. And with that, I'll holler at you guys next time, man. Peace out.